Vacation is the 8th episode of the second season of The Golden Girls. This is directed by Terry Hughes, and as always, there will be spoilers from now. And I don't have too many thoughts. It is a good episode. It's maybe not the funniest, but we definitely have some good moments. But what makes it interesting is that we have a different location. So even if it's, in my opinion, not the funniest episode, we do have a different setting, some different characters, just to make it a little bit more interesting. It starts off with Rose, Blanche, and Dorothy getting ready to go on vacation to the Caribbean, and Sophia didn't want to go. And we find out why. I'm not 100% sure if that's why Sophia didn't want to go or if she's just making the best of a situation. Once the others go off in their taxi, Sophia talks to Toshiro Mitsumo, and he is doing some work getting the snails from the garden path and things. And he doesn't understand much English, but enough English to understand that Sophia is being very kind, very friendly. She's basically hitting on him. And I'll kind of wrap up this part of it here. We do cut back to Sophia, I think maybe 3 or 4 times, and we see them eating sushi. Well, Sophia doesn't eat the sushi because she doesn't like the idea of raw fish. I don't blame her. And then eventually they have a kiss, and it's really sweet and really nice, and it's a different side to Sophia that we don't normally get to see, and she's a lot softer and more, well, kind, basically. She obviously is a very kind person, but she has a very blunt way of going about things, but it's a little bit different here, and as I said, we cut back to her, I think maybe 3 or 4 times, and that all works really well, and it was a nice way to include Sophia, even though she's not on this vacation. The rest of the episode, of course, is when they're on this vacation, they get to the resort, and the hotel is, well, I don't think we can even call it a hotel. The bedroom is not what they expected. They don't have the ocean view as promised. And I did actually laugh out loud at least one time. When they're trying to make the best of a situation, they realise it's a vibrating bed, so they get on the bed, Dorothy, Rose, and Blanche, and they press the button to activate the vibrating bed, but instead of it being a vibrating bed, the guy who was delivering their bags, a very blunt, unpleasant person, comes in and puts his foot on the edge of the bed and starts shaking it up and down. Rose's face in that moment is fabulous. Really brilliant reaction. And they do try and make the best of the situation. They're getting ready at the end of the day, and they go into the bathroom, and it turns out it's a shared bathroom with the room next door, and there are 3 guys, and the guys they're okay. They're not necessarily nasty negative characters, but obviously it's not what they're wanting to happen here. And the guys make the best of the situation by offering to get them a drink, offering to take them out on the boat, and they decide they have nothing else to lose, they've got nothing better to do. So they agree to go on this boat with them, and we don't actually get to see them on the boat. The next thing we do see is that it's much later at night, it's pitch black, and they all come scrambling onto the land because they've been stranded there and something's obviously gone wrong. And Rose, we get to see a different side of Rose here that I absolutely love. Everybody's bickering and arguing, and they're obviously in this difficult situation, and Rose stands up and basically starts shouting. She was a pioneer scout. She learned a lot about this kind of survival, and she starts barking orders at people and taking charge, and it's not something we see with Rose that frequently, and I was really impressed. It was nice to see this different side of her, and the guys go off to do whatever they need to do, and we have this beautiful scene, beautifully framed, really well shot, with Rose, Dorothy, and Blanche sitting around the fire, and they realise that they might end up dying there, which sounds dramatic, but if you're stranded somewhere with potentially no civilization around, I think that that's a natural response to have. And they start to confess things to each other, and they keep bickering, and it's very well written, and the performances are really great. Rose turns her back on the other 2 at one point, which was more adorable than anything else. And eventually they do make up, and the next thing we know, the guys come back with drinks, and drinks in glasses as if they've clearly been somewhere. And it actually went in a way that I wasn't expecting, because I thought, and this is me being a pessimist, absolutely, I thought the guys came back after having been away for hours and they'd just been relaxing at this location for hours, and the girls were going to be really annoyed by this, but actually that's not what happened. it turns out that they'd found somewhere. They'd just been stranded on the opposite side of the same island, and they'd booked them all rooms in a much better, seemingly much better hotel. And actually, the guys had been really nice. There was no suggestion that they'd just been having a great time elsewhere for hours, leaving the girls in the night. Maybe they did do that, but that's not what was suggested. It does seem like they had just found this place, just booked the hotel rooms, and got the drinks to take back to the girls, and everybody was really happy, and it was a really jolly way to end things, and it was very, very pleasant. So, as I said, it's, in my opinion, maybe not the funniest episode, but we do have some really great moments. We get to see different sides of Sophia and Rose, which I think is really brilliant. And then we do have, of course, the different location, the different environment, and that definitely helps to make things just a little bit different to the average episode. And I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with this one. Definitely a good episode. It might not be the funniest in my opinion, but I still thought Vacation was really enjoyable and, of course, definitely worth watching.